it's Karen with 𝗬𝗃𝗄𝗧 PaperCrafts. For this video, I'm going to be creating a scrapbook layout for Pinkfresh Fridays, which is a YouTube hop where a bunch of us scrappy YouTubers get together once a month to create projects using our Pinkfresh Studio collections. And for this project, I'll be using a brand new collection from Pinkfresh called 𝗬𝗏𝗏 on My Mind. And I received this collection as part of the Scrapbooking Create event that they just had over the past weekend. So this is the second Create event that I've attended for Pinkfresh. It's an online event, and this time it was 2 days, and there were 5 classes with 5 different instructors, and it was a lot of fun. And I love receiving all of the new products. So I thought I would share everything that came with the Create event. You get a big box of stuff if you sign up for that event. And there are everything that you need for the project for the 5 classes, plus tons of stuff that you can use after the classes are over to create other projects. And I'm going to be using 𝗬𝗏𝗏 on My Mind, but if you want to stick around to the end of the video, I'll share the other collections that I got from Pinkfresh as part of the Create event, as well as some of the other things that they sent. It's a lot of fun to see all of the new products even before they go on sale. And right now you can pick up these new collections from both scrapbook.com and also pinkfreshstudios.com. So if you're looking for this new 𝗬𝗏𝗏 on My Mind collection, that's where you can go and get that. I do have an affiliate link for scrapbook.com, so if you want to shop with them, just go ahead and check out the description of this video. If you want to click on my link, it's no extra charge for you, but I get a little bit of a commission if you use my link. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in and get started with this layout. And I'm going to just move this other stuff over here. And these were all of the things that I got from the Create event. And if you want to see that, stick around to the end. Okay, so for the 𝗬𝗏𝗏 on My Mind, they sent us the 12 by 12 paper, and then they also included 2 sets of enamel dots. They have the glossy enamel dots and then also a matte finish enamel dot. And I love that they sent 2 different kinds. I love enamel dots, so that's a lot of fun. They also sent 3 different packs of ephemera. There's the floral ephemera, which is this one here, with all the flowers. And then this one is the just the ephemera pack. And this is a summer theme collection, and I'm going to be using pictures that were taken on a cruise. So I think this collection is just perfect for that. These are the acetate ephemera. Those are really cute. I haven't looked through some of this, so I don't think I even opened that one up yet. This is the journaling bits that came with this collection. Also the puffy stickers. And there are 2 different puffy alphas. There's a mini puffy alpha, which is this one here. And it's in 2, this is blues, greens, and yellows on this side, and then pink, white, and red on this side. That's really cool. And then here are the larger puffy alphas. And then also the cardstock stickers. So there's tons of embellishments to go with this. And it's really a lot of fun to have all of these things to create with. And these are the pictures that I'm going to be using for my layout. This is pictures of my mom that were taken on the cruise that we went on. And I just love these pictures. I love the colors. I think it goes perfectly with this collection. So I can't wait to do this layout. It's really a lot of fun working with new products. And so I was really happy to participate in the Pinkfresh event for this year as well. I did hear that they're going to be having 2 scrapbooking events next year. I think this year they had 1 and last year they had 1. But I guess it's so popular they decided that they would do 2 next year. That's what I heard. So if you want to find out more information about the events, the best way to do that is to get on their newsletter. If you go to Pinkfresh website, you can just join the newsletter, and they'll email you out an invitation once the dates get, once they have more information and they know what the dates are for those events. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the paper. I want to pick a paper out here from my background. And one of the cool things about Pinkfresh when you get their papers is you get this cover sheet. It's the same weight as all of their other paper, and you can use this as a background. It's just white on one side. You can also cut out all of these little squares and use them for a layout. In one of the classes that Paige Evans did over the weekend, she did take one of the collections, the cover sheet, and we cut out all these little squares and used it for a layout. So that's a really fun way to use the cover sheet from the Pinkfresh paper packs. Okay, so let's see if I can find a paper to use for the background here. And I think this collection is beautiful. I love the colors. Look at how well it goes with my picture. I just think it's the perfect collection for the pictures that I had chosen. I think all of the paper on here is going to go really well. And then we have this, looks like a summer agenda. That's really cool. And then here are some tickets and a stripe on the back here. Here are some leaves. Beautiful paper. I love the weight of the Pinkfresh paper too. It's a very heavyweight paper. And makes really good backgrounds. So I'm just going to keep looking through here to see if we can find the best paper to use as a background for this layout. So if you participated in the Pinkfresh Create event, I would love to hear what you thought about it. If you want to leave a comment below, and if you did participate, if y'all had fun, and if you're enjoying using all of the new collections that you received from Pinkfresh. And I just think it's a lot of fun to do the class, but also to get a lot of new fun products into your craft room. I was on a spending freeze for a really long time. I think it was almost a year and a half from the time I started thinking about building a new house back in July of 2021 until I finished building my house in 2022, and then I sold. I think I waited until this year. I moved into my new house last year, August of 2022, and then I didn't sell my old house until January of this year, so I didn't start buying new stuff until a few months ago. Okay, so after looking through all the papers, I thought that this paper here would make a really good background, but I'm not really sure if it suits the look and feel that I'm going for this layout. And I went back through the papers and I came across this paper here, which is a really awesome floral paper. And I put it next to this other paper here, and I really love the combination of this floral paper with these two colors. And if I just eliminate this orange, I think that this is going to be a perfect background for my layout. So I think I'll use part of this floral paper and then these two paper, this part of the paper here, we'll just cut off this yellow. And I think that's going to be really pretty. It gives a little bit of a softer effect to the background, where this yellow is a really strong color. I think that this really complements my pictures better using these two papers as my background instead of using that part over there. So I'm going to be cutting that part off. And when I printed out the pictures, I have a little bit of a white edge around there, so I don't really need to mat that with any cardstock. But I might use some other paper to create another mat. Y'all know how much I love to create mats behind my pictures. And then other thing I thought about doing possibly was to turn this like this and either do it this way where the floral was at the top, or possibly go this way where that is at the top and the floral is at the bottom. So I might play around with that a little bit once I cut this down, and I'll turn that into a 12 by 12 paper by combining those two papers together. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that, and then I'll be right back and we can go ahead and work some more on this layout. Okay, so I have all of the pieces cut out for my background. I haven't put it together yet because I wanted to talk a little bit about my decision process and how I came up with the design, and also share a couple of tips on putting it together. And I also did go through the ephemera. I dumped out all of the packs of ephemera. There was a floral ephemera, the regular ephemera, and the acetate ephemera. I dumped it into this tray. This is just a 3 divider tray picked up from the Dollar Tree for $1. And I like using this just to kind of contain the ephemera so that I can have something to pull from as I'm working on my layout. And I went through all of the ephemera, and I found that this collection has kind of two identities. It has some really light colored pastel, more pastel vibe, which is what I'm going for this layout. And then there are some really bright, fun colors, and I'll show y'all the difference in the color schemes here. If I put this acetate pieces down, you can see how much darker that is than the things that I selected for this layout. They also have ephemera pieces that are dark as well as enamel dots. And I guess the best example of how I can show you the colors here is if you take a look at the enamel dots, you can see in these matte enamel dots how much darker these colors are. And so I'll probably end up using the glossy enamel dots for this layout because I think it blends a little bit better with what I've selected. So even though this is a collection, I think it's really important to kind of pay attention to the look and feel that you're going for when you're creating your layout. And because I did not select that strong yellow color in the paper, and I selected this pastel floral paper instead, my layout started going into this direction where it's very feminine, it's very light and pastel in color. And I think bringing in these really strong dark colors would not really suit the look and feel of this layout. Now, had I used this paper as it was with this really strong yellow color, I could have brought in more of those really dark tones. But this layout's going in a whole nother direction, which is okay. It's however you want to use that to create your project. You could use both of the pastel, the lighter colors, and the darker colors on one layout, but I think you would need to have something in your layout to bring those colors together. Like one of the papers that have variation in the colors, or a title that has variation in the colors. So I do think that you could use both the lighter and darker colors on one layout as long as you had some elements on there that brought all those colors together. But for me, for this layout, because of the paper that I selected, I'm going to stick to using most of the pastel colors and the ephemera for my layout. Okay, I did just pull out a whole bunch of flowers that I thought might go. And then I have this little house here. I don't know if I'll use all of this. I just pulled out things that I thought would go or coordinate well with my layout and also coordinate well with the picture. So some of these sayings have the word summer, and these pictures were taken in February. So although we were on a cruise, it was not a summer cruise. So I don't want to use any of the things in the collection that had summer or the months June, July, August, which there's some ephemera pieces that do have those sayings on them. But other things like this, the Bon Voyage, these days are golden, the sweetest summer. Well, I guess I can't use this one because it says summer. That says summer memories. But this one here would work really well. It says making more time for sunshine. So I think all of those things would work really well. This one says, let's take the scenic route. And so I'm going to stick to the theme, which is the cruise that I took in February. And then also the color scheme that I'm going for, which are these lighter pastel colors. Okay, so for my background, I decided to cut this paper apart. So I ended up cutting this paper down and then this paper down. And I decided to put a border on there. So when I joined the two papers together, it looks really pretty and decorative where the papers join up together. And once I did that, it was just looking a little bit plain down here at the bottom of the layout. And I had this idea that I could go ahead and just cut this paper, this darker strip off, and then create a border on the other side so that when I make this into a background, I'm going to have this piece overlap both of those pieces. And I think it really creates a nice effect having that border, the scallop border on both the top and the bottom of this strip of paper. And this is the punch that I used to create the border. It's from Stampin' Up. It's an older punch. It's just a really small scallop punch. And then, so once I have all of this there, I'm gonna probably put my pictures like in the middle like that. So isn't that pretty? I just love that this adds this really feminine, delicate touch to the layout with this border, and it allows me to connect the papers together and make it look more finished. So to create the background, after I've cut all of these pieces of paper, I decided that I did not want to take this whole 12 by 12 paper and use it. I could have just done that. I really wanted to have save some of this paper because I liked it so much. I thought it was a really pretty floral. And so I saved part of the paper, and instead of using this 12 by 12 paper and then just gluing this stuff to it, I went into my flip bins where I keep my 12 by 12 papers, just papers that I have that are single papers. and not part of a collection. And I have a category called ugly paper. And I just put paper there that I think that I probably would never use on a layout, but it's still good paper. And this paper is kind of thin. This is really old. It's probably from 15 or 20 years ago. It's still floating around in my craft room. I don't ever think that I would use this side as for anything. So I could use it though to create my background. So I'll just go ahead and glue this down, adhere this down with my ATG gun. So I'll adhere both of these to the background, to this paper, and then I'll later add this one. And I could do this to where I use, you could use the white side or the green side, but I just like to cover that up so that the back of my layout's going to be white. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this together, and then I'll come back and we'll work on adding the pictures, adding a title, and then doing our embellishments. Okay, so I have the background put together, and then I also figured out my picture placement and put some ephemera on. I created 3 different clusters, one up here, one next to the pictures, and then one here down at the bottom. And right now everything's kind of flat. I have not added any dimension or foam tape, but I think that the clusters are going to look way better if I add some foam tape to some of them and pop them up from the background. It's going to really make things come together. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was I did decide to use this this ephemera piece right here. It's a card that says "These days are golden." It does have the yellow. So because I brought this yellow color in, I wanted to bring a little bit more yellow to the layout, but not overpower the other colors that I have. And one of the things that ties these colors together is this one ephemera piece that I found. So this ephemera piece right here has the yellow, pink, and red on it, and a little bit of the peach. And once I did add this up here to this cluster, it adds the yellow up there. And then I found this floral here, which is another yellow flower. And then we have a yellow puffy sticker. I also have this yellow hay, and then this best day ever. I hadn't decided which one of these I'm going to use. I also found this beach ball, and this one actually is really good. I might use this one here instead of the flower because it ties in all the colors. It has the blue, yellow, green, and pink here. And I have some blue and green here. The only thing I don't have up here in this cluster is the blue, but I could potentially just pop in some of the enamel dots up here, and that'll tie in the blue color. Or I could find something else that would go up here to tie in the blue color. I could possibly maybe move the sunglasses up there, but I kind of like how I did this cluster down here, and I'm not really sure yet what I'm going to use up here to bring that blue color up to the top of the layout. But so far I think that this is coming out really well. I also did pull in one of the tags, and this is just a plain tag that has a grommet at the top, and I think it gives a place for this cluster and to situate my photos there. And then I also did add this little word quote here, and I'm thinking about adding another word quote right on top of this. Maybe this one here that says "Sweetest Memories," that has pink and red in it. And I think that would really bring this together over here with the 2 word quotes. And then also I brought in a little bit more of this teal color or light aqua, and with this pool umbrella. And I think this is really coming out cute. I could actually put these sunglasses here and these up here, but I think having 2 pairs of sunglasses might be a little bit too much. So I'm going to play around with this a little bit more to kind of get my clusters figured out. I'll glue everything down, add some foam tape to some of the items, and then once I do that, I'll come back and we'll add some finishing touches to this layout. Okay, so I finished putting together my clusters and I adhered everything down to the layout. And I did add foam tape to a number of the elements just to give some extra dimension, just to help with the layering. I think the clusters look better if you have things at different levels. And that's one of the reasons why I love using foam tape. So you can see here if I hold this up that there are quite a few of the elements that are popped up onto foam tape. And it really is not a huge amount of dimension. It does add a little bit of bulk to your scrapbooking layouts, but the dimension is not really that much. I would say that's probably maybe about a 1/16 of an inch there. And you can, even sometimes I've done like double or triple layers of this foam tape and put elements even higher up onto the layout, and it still is not too bulky, I think, at least for me. I like to have the dimension, and I think that it just adds a lot of interest to your layout. Okay, so to finish this layout, I'm just going to add on some enamel dots, and I'm debating on what colors to use here. If I want to bring in more of this blue color, I do have a lot of blue in my picture, so it might be nice to try to bring this blue into more of the areas of the layout. And I don't think I want to use the yellow. This yellow enamel dot is much brighter, I think, than the ephemera. At least it seems that way, maybe because it has that glossy finish. But I think I'm going to use the blue and maybe this green and the peach. So let's go ahead and get started here, and I think I'll do the blue first. And I want to add more blue up here to the top of the layout. I did actually tuck this one little ephemera piece that has some blue on it. It looks like a postage stamp, but I tucked it behind this 𝗵𝗶𝗇𝗵𝗂𝗂. The other thing that I did, because the 𝗵𝗶𝗇𝗵𝗂 was pink and these flowers were pink and peach, I wanted to make that piece stand out a little bit more. So I did cut out a piece of the patterned paper. This right here, this paper with the green leaves. I just cut a piece of that, and then I matted it, matted that ephemera piece, and that makes it pop off a little bit more from the background. And I think that's one of the things you can do. If you have a piece of ephemera, especially a tag or a label, it's really easy to go ahead and mat that and to make it give a little bit more separation between some of the other elements that are on your layout. Okay, so let's see, we'll add a blue and then the green here. And I might just put that one there, and then I think I'll do the peach. These are sticking to my fingers. And then I'm going to put some enamel dots down here as well. I think also the other thing about enamel dots that makes it interesting to add to your layout is it adds an extra different type of texture to the layout, because it is glossy. The finish is glossy, so I think it's really pretty adding enamel dots, and just something different that you can add. Adds a little bit more interest. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 3 down here. And I do like to sometimes tuck the enamel dots underneath things. I think that looks really cool. And then we'll put some over here on this one. And because I have the most blue over here, I'm going to use the smallest blue enamel dot here. And then we'll use a medium green. And then the largest, the peach, because I don't have as much peach or pink up here in this area. So I think if I add the peach one, that would be really good. I'm just gonna move this around just slightly. Okay, so I really like how that turned out. And I did also add this second label here, which was the sweetest memories. Yeah, it just kind of gives a little bit more interest to this corner right here. Otherwise, that would have been really a bare spot on my layout. And then over here, I decided to use the beach ball, also to use this saying that says best day ever. And I really love how this layout turned out. Okay, so let me go ahead and bring it up here closer so you can see all of the different things that I put onto the layout. But aren't the enamel dots pretty? I just love using enamel dots. Also, the crystals are really fun to use too from Pinkfresh. I like using the crystals, and they've coming out with all kinds of different crystals. The ones I started out with are these here, and but now they have tons and tons of different things that they have. Some gold and silver matte little gems. They have all different kinds, and so it's really cool. They have some glitter ones. And they're always adding new ones into the shop. And I wish I could have all of them, every color. They're so awesome. But you can buy this pack. I think this pack is still available. It comes in this really cool plastic case. And then you open it up, and it has individual jars with all of the crystals. And there's 2 different sets. This one is the ones that are flat on the bottom. And then these are the jewels that have, it's three-dimensional. They're more for shakers. They don't have a flat edge, so it's hard to adhere it onto a layout. But these are awesome to put into shaker cards or shaker tags or shaker pockets. And the new ones, you can buy just one single color and it comes in a little pouch. So those are really fun to add to a layout as well. Let me go ahead and show y'all this cluster down here at the bottom here. And then this one here at the top. Okay, so that is the layout for my Pinkfresh Friday. And let me go ahead and move this out of the way, and then I'll grab all of the things that I got from the Pinkfresh event, and I'll share with you everything that came in that. The price for that was $238, and I can't remember if that included shipping or if shipping was extra. I'll put it up here on the screen because I'll have to look it up on my invoice. But that included all of the products that you get plus the classes for 2 days. Okay, so I took everything that I was using from the Sunshine on My Mind collection and put it back into my storage system. This is the Power Project folder from Creative Memories. It's one of my favorite organization products that I have in my craft room. And I love using these to store larger collections where I have a lot of ephemera and puffy stickers and enamel dots and lots of things that go with the 12 by 12 papers. So I do have a video on my YouTube channel where I shared how I store and organize my scrapbooking collections. And if you're interested in seeing more about that, I'll put a link to that in the description below and you can check out that video. I do have other ways that I store my collections. I don't always use these Creative Memories Power Project folders, but they're really awesome. They have 3 pockets on one side, so I have 2 smaller pockets here and then a larger one across the top. You have a place in the middle to put your 12 by 12 papers. And then there are 2 larger pockets for 6 by 12 items on the back. And it really is compact. The plastic is very heavyweight and durable. And it's just a really awesome way to keep your collections all together in one place. Okay, so I shared already this, everything I had gotten from the Sunshine on My Mind collection. Let me show you what else came in the Create event for Pinkfresh. Okay, so the first thing I'll talk about is the swag. And last year they gave us this really cool swag. It was a stamp press. And I love that because I didn't have one of those in my craft room. So that was super awesome to get that as an extra gift last year. And so for this year, they gave us 2 items for the swag. We got this metal tray. It's in the shape of a heart and it's gold. It's super cute. And I think this will be really fun to have on my desk and I can put little things there. I'm always losing the pen for my glue. And I thought that when I'm working with like small metal dies or like the pen for my glue or other small items, I could just put it there while I'm working and so that I don't lose things. I'm always losing that pen that's in my glue bottle. And I use the Barely Arts liquid glue, and if you don't keep the pen in it, it will clog up. Okay, so this is the other item that was part of the swag. This is a stamp set, the Travelog stamp set, and it's a travel themed stamp set. And I love this. This is really awesome. It has some things you can use here for journaling, and then lots of other little different things that you can put on a layout. I haven't used this yet, but I really like it a lot. Okay, and then this is the Travelog collection that came as part of this event. And for this collection, I'll show you the, this is one, I started a layout with this, so I've cut into the papers. But this is the collection here, and it came with 12 double-sided papers. And I don't think I'm gonna flip through all the paper here, but I'll just show you the cover sheet. These are all the papers that are included. It's double-sided papers, and I think it's a really cute collection. It's travel themed. And I'm storing it again in a Creative Memories Power Project folder. As I'm getting new things into my craft room, I'm really trying hard to keep them organized. And so when I buy something, I try to put it into my organization so that I have everything together in one place. If I don't do that, a lot of times some of the things will go missing in my craft room, and I'll have enamel dots for something, but then I can't find them because they're somewhere, they're not together with the other items. So for this collection, they did give us the journaling. This is the journaling bits. And that's everything that's included there. And then in addition to that, they gave us this enamel dots. And these are the glossy enamel dots. I was going to share something with you guys. A lot of times this gets in the way, like this plastic right here. If you want to, you can just trim that plastic off. But if you want to use this as storage to keep this together without having to open up the bottom here, and then it's sticky and you're trying to get things in and out, what you can do is just go ahead and cut the top of this off. So if you want to just cut off this plastic but keep it closed, then just cut along the top edge where you see this is sealed together. But if you want to create a pocket where you can access the items inside of this package, just go ahead and cut all of that off. And then this creates a place where you can just open this up and grab things out of it without having to try to deal with the sticky part down there at the bottom. And because I'm storing this inside of something else, I'm not going to worry that it's going to, you know, come loose. I think it's fine like it is. And I started doing that. I really do love doing it that way. For enamel dots, I will cut up the side. I also do this for the chipboard stickers and the chipboard frames. But if you just cut the packaging along the side, and then I'll also just cut this top part off just because I don't really need all that extra plastic. Then you have access to these enamel dots from the side. And it just makes it a little bit easier to get to your products when you're using them. Okay. So in addition to that, we also have some ephemera here. So I have the ephemera pack here, and that's everything that came in the ephemera. I'm doing a double page layout with this collection. It was one of the, I think it was the first class. I'm not finished with it yet, but I think maybe what I'll do is once I finish all my projects from the 2-day event, I will post another video and share with you the layouts that I've created. Okay, and then we have some puffy alphas in this kind of navy color. And then there are the chipboard frames, and this is double-sided, and that's not double-sided. So we have the chipboard frames, and we have the cardstock stickers. This one's double-sided. And you can see here that I did cut into this, so I can just easily go in and grab that, and I can just go ahead and cut this part up here off. Now, one of the reasons why you might want to make an opening on the top opposed to the side is that if you have a lot of little pieces, I wouldn't open up the side of it because it's going to fall out. So if you have smaller pieces like an ephemera pack or the journaling bits, I would open up the top edge here. But if you have something that's just like a single or double page, this is actually 2 pages, it makes it easier just to pull it out from the side. And you can get to both the front and the back of it like that. So you can pull this out as well. So it just makes it easier to get to that. If you can cut it up here, but then it's harder to get it in and out. And it does stay in there very nicely. And you can do the same thing with the chipboard frames. All right, so put that back in there. So that was everything that came with the collection called, what was this called? Tourist Mode. Okay, so that was the second collection that we got. Okay, so the third collection is this one here. This is the Lovely Blooms. And let me go ahead and share the paper first. So here is the paper that came with this Lovely Blooms collection. Isn't that gorgeous? I think this is my favorite out of the collections. I just love the colors. I think it's really pretty. I'll just show y'all a couple of the papers here because I think that their paper in this collection is really beautiful. They have some cut aparts. And then we have strawberries, and look at this gorgeous floral. So lots of really pretty paper in this collection. I'll just do a really quick flip through. I love that wreath too, that's gorgeous. Another really pretty floral. And so I love this collection as well. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put this right back in there. Aren't these power project folders awesome? So easy to get your stuff in and out of it. Okay, also included with this collection was the ephemera. And here is everything that's included in that. Then there was also the floral ephemera. And then there was also these book rings, which are color coordinated to go with this collection. And one of the projects is to make a album, like a little mini album, and it's using one of the dies, and you make it like a shaker tag. It's really cool. So I haven't done that project yet, but I'm planning to do that. And then we have the puffy stickers. And then here are the fabric stickers. Those are really cool. I like those. Those are really, really neat. And then over here are the journaling bits there. And then also the enamel dots. Those are super pretty colors. All right, let me just tuck this stuff back in here real quick. And you can see you can put really bulky items in these Power Project folders. And then on the back here I have, let's see, we have some puffy alphas and also some titles. So here are the puffy phrases. And then there are these alphas in a blue. That's a really pretty blue. And then we have the chipboard frames here. How gorgeous is that? Really beautiful. They have some gold foiling on that. And then here are the cardstock stickers. And that's everything that came with the Lovely Blooms collection. I'm just going to go ahead and put all of this back in here real quick. Trying to keep it all together. Okay, so on to the next thing here. This is really not, I think it's part of a collection called the Garden Bouquet, but there's other things as well. It's not a complete collection. It didn't come with 12 by 12 paper. This is just some other things that are included as part of the event and used in the classes. So I just put all this together in one Power Project folder. I'll probably leave it in here until I finish the class, all of the different projects from the classes. So I'm going to pull everything out here so I can go through it with you guys. Okay, so what we got here, there are some enamel dots. These are the Garden Bouquet enamel dots. And they came in a color and also in this matte gold. I love the matte gold. It was really pretty. They also had some alphas in the gold as well. And I just think that's going to be gorgeous on a layout. And then here are the journaling bits for this collection. Now last year they had the Chrysanthemum collection, which is one of my absolutely favorite collections from Pinkfresh. Unfortunately, there's no 12 by 12 paper in that collection, but the colors are pink, orange, and green, and I love it. It's awesome. And I don't know if this year this is going to be the same type of collection, but this Garden Bouquet collection also did not come with 12 by 12 paper. And then we have this Garden Bouquet ephemera. And then here are the puffy stickers. Okay, let's see. I don't know. Let's see if there's anything else that goes with that collection here. Okay, we also have the chipboard frames. And I'm seeing a glare over here, so I'm going to try to move that over. So here's the chipboard frames. And then here are the cardstock stickers. Okay, and so in addition to all of that embellishment ephemera, they also included this washi tape roll, which I've already started a project using the washi tape, so I've actually opened this and used it on a layout. And this has gold folding and it's really awesome. It's really pretty, and it's just a strip of washi tape with all of these flowers. It has metallics on it. And in addition to the roll of washi tape here, they also gave us a die to use. So you can cut all of this out and use it as ephemera. And the die that is included is this die right here. This is the coordinating cuts for the Garden Bouquet collection. I believe that there's also a coordinating stamp set that goes with this cutting die, but the only thing that they provided in this class was the washi tape and the cutting die, but the stamp set is available for purchase at the Pinkfresh website. And so we have that metal die so you can cut out all of this washi tape. And then there is also included these three things which are coordinating. So this is a stamp set called the Thanks for Being There. It's a floral stamp set, and it comes with the coordinating cutting die. So I'm gonna hold this up so y'all can see that. Isn't that gorgeous? And it also has a stencil that you can use to do coloring. And this is a layered stencil. It's also from the same. So these three things coordinate with each other. Okay, let's see. This was something that was included from the Fancy Floral. It's Fancy Floral Ephemera. It's the floral ephemera. And that was used on one of the mini albums that was for one of the classes. And then this was the die that was used for that mini album. It's a foldable pocket, and we used this to make a shaker pocket of tag, and then did this little mini album using this die. So that's really cool. And then they also included an alpha die set. And this one is the 𝗬𝗵𝗂𝗃, which is super awesome. And I don't know, this kind of feels like a magnet, but the letters are not staying on there. I'm just kind of curious now if this is actually a magnet. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this up. I like to store all of my dies, and it does come with a magnet. So there is a magnet here, but it's, I guess because it's so large and it's kind of floppy, all of the letters are coming off. But I can mount this onto a piece of chipboard, and then it will work perfect to keep these dies organized. So I think that's one of the only things, if you're going to use magnets to store your dies, the magnet itself is not really enough because it bends too much, and as soon as you pick it up and move it around, all the dies are going to pop off. The trick to storing your dies on a magnet is to put it onto a solid surface, like a piece of chipboard or something that's solid, that will keep that magnet flat, and then all of these dies will stay stuck to that. Okay, I'm going to put this over here. It's going to be a project that I'm going to have to work on to make sure I can keep all that together. Okay, so the last thing that I have to share here is some cut files. Both of these cut files were used in the classes for Paige Evans. I think she created 3 different layouts, and she created a layout using this cut file, also this one as well. And we did get a digital copy, so if you wanted to create more of these, you can, which was really awesome. But they did provide the cut files to everyone because not everybody has an electronic die cutting machine where they could cut their own. So they did include this as part of the class. And I believe I showed y'all everything that was included. And the cost of the class again was $238, which I think was an awesome deal for everything, all the products that we got, plus the 2 days of classes. I may look at joining the one for next year. I don't know if I'll join both of them or just one, but I'll have to just wait and see. But I think it is a really good value for the money and for all of the products that you get from Pinkfresh. Okay, well that's all I have to share for this video. I hope that you liked seeing the scrapbook process for the layout that I created, and also seeing all of the awesome products that were included in the Pinkfresh Create event. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more videos and you're not subscribed, please join my channel. I would love to have you as a subscriber. So y'all take care. Hope y'all have an awesome weekend, and I hope to see you next time. Bye now.